Good morning. Good morning. It's a beautiful day, Jonathan Club members. My name is April Clark, and I'm just trying to get into a good view while I set up. So today, as in every week, we're going to continue focusing on mobility for better movement, and you'll need 2 blocks. Going live just a few minutes early today, and a strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can use a belt, a towel, and then all you do is you take your towel on each long end, like corner to corner, and then just around, and it can act like a yoga strap if you need one. So since we're starting early, a few minutes, let's start with some breath work. So as you walk your sit bones out, we'll start taking some deep breaths. This little motion that I'm doing, walking the sit bones out. So at the bottom of the pelvis, you have 2 sit bones, right? So I'm lifting one and pressing one. Lifting one and pressing one. What that's doing is activating the muscles in my lower abdominal and the pelvic floor. It's creating some warmth and blood flow into my low back, and it's allowing my brain body connection to feel that root, as we want to feel rooted in every yoga pose. So just be very gentle. We're breathing. I'm taking the diaphragm energy and I'm lifting upwards. I'm focusing the height of my sternum. I'm lifting up through the chest. I'm allowing my shoulders to drop down. And as you can feel, as you practice a lifting sit bone and pressing sit bone, that you do become a little warm and activated through what I call the belly band across the hips. So let's find our center, feel the 2 sits rooted into the mat. So let's focus our root chakra, right? It's at the bottom of the pelvis. And through our breath, we're going to activate all the muscles into the pelvic floor by hugging in and pulling the energy upwards, and then I'll say release. So here we go. Deep breath in from the base of the belly. Inhale up. Up, 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 up to the crown of the head. When you have as much breath as you can hold, Mula Bandha, you hug the root and pull the energy up. And exhale, release the engagement. Let's do it again. Up, hug, move the energy up. Exhale vigorously. Open that mouth. Let's try again. Up, hug, and move it up. Exhale. Nice job. Now you can stay where you are. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see this little action through the back. So my hands are on tops of the kneecaps, inhaling a deep breath. Exhaling, emptying the breath, and then inhaling, rising the sternum and the chest back up. Exhale. Inhale. Now keep going as I talk you through this. As I exhale and tuck the chin into the chest and round out the thoracic spine, I'm dropping the shoulders down so I can feel a little trapezius neck release. And as I pull the palms into the kneecaps and lift the height of the chest up, I want to feel the shoulder blades going back, and that's opening up the fascia of the back, these ligaments, these tight fibers. Exhale, round. Inhale up. So notice that we go into a tucked pelvis, right? And then a neutral pelvis where we sit on top of the sit bones with the best posture we can. 4 more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. I have a very strong grip on my knees, pulling the shoulders back as I lift the chest. 2 more. One more. And release. Good. So let's take it to tabletop. I'm just going to take a towel over here. And we're on our knees. So tabletop, a great pose to ground. It's a root chakra pose. It's not a throwaway pose, even though it's basic. All basic poses are roots and foundation. And so if you're ever feeling like you don't feel grounded in the body and the mind, this is a great pose to help you get there and get that back in the body. So the crease of the wrist is aligned with the front edge of the mat. I'm going to separate my fingertips as wide as I can. And then take the elbow point and roll it to the thigh. And what that does is open up the chest. It activates the serratus. And you can feel how your chest muscles are also activated. So through this activation of the elbows rolling in and you vigorously pressing through your first finger and thumb, you feel the energy, you feel the activation of the muscles in the upper body. Now let's focus tops of the feet, press down. There's our root. So we have palms rooted, we have tops of feet rooted, and through that press, we're feeling a lift of our core. And through that press, we feel the lift of the core. What else happens? The rib cage, we're not sinking through the middle. We're pulling the ribs up and in to make a tabletop completely flat. So no overarching, no rounding in tabletop. From here, the next move, I call it a serratus press. We drop down through the rib cage and press, activating the serratus muscles, which is your core. Drop it down and press. This is a great way to, one, activate the grounding action to help educate the body-mind in doing that press, because it's needed in any arm, hand press poses. You must fully press through. So we exhale, go slow, take your time, inhale. If you can, exhale through the mouth, inhale through the nose. Exhale, inhale. It's great for releasing neck tension, realigning the shoulders, creating that width that we need across the collarbones. Okay, good. So let's take this tabletop into a cat-cow. Inhale, big deep breath. Exhale, press to the palms and drop the chin. Tuck the chin and round it out. Notice that I did not go back, right? I'm keeping my shoulders above my wrists. Inhaling forward, neutralizing the low back. Exhale, press and round. So this cat-cow pose is to help release tension in the thoracic spine. And your thoracic spine is in between your shoulder blades. So it's an upper middle back. So that's why we really press and round right here to open up across the shoulder blades. Exhale, lengthen the crown of the head. Feel the occiput, which is the base of the skull and neck connection. See if you can lengthen as the crown moves forward. And notice I don't go up too high. I want to keep that neutral neck and round it out. 2 more. And 1 more. Hold the tabletop. Good. Let's lower down our elbows. extend the right arm forward. So the palm can be flat, or you can do spider fingers, where you can see you look like a spider because the tip of the fingers are on the mat. Inhale, press either fingertips or palms into the mat floor as you lead your hips back. That's where you'll find your stretch in your right underarm area. Do you feel that? Go ahead and rest your forehead down if you haven't already. Inhale, deep breath. Your elbow point rolls down to the mat. See what that did to the shoulder? It created a little opening space. And now here, you allow the ski slope spine. Your ribs fall down. The tail lifts up to the ceiling. There, you're lengthening out. This is a great pose to do before you do down dogs. Everybody wakes up tight. That's why they say that every morning you're a born again yogi, because every day we have to realign and start again. And release. Inhale, deep breath. This will also help improve your posture, your lung capacity, because we are short through our torso through bad posture. Inhale, deep breath, reach and extend, press the palms. Roll that left elbow down, feel what it did to the shoulder. Create some space between the shoulder and neck. You're allowing the ribs to fall down. Breathing and pushing away through the left palm. Go ahead and release. Let's take a moment, because sometimes you need a second after that. Both elbows down, inhale. Lifted chest. Now both arms, here we go. Go ahead and move slowly. Palms extend. Create a strong, straight arm. Inhale, pull your navel in. So you feel a little abdominal strength. Slowly lower your head down. If your shoulder mobility doesn't allow your head to come down with straight arms, grab a block. One, I have the thin blocks today, so one will be enough, but maybe two would be good for you. So as we start again, and resting the forehead down, I don't want my neck and chin to drop. I don't want my chin to go forward. I want a straight line from the crown of the head. So look for that in your body. So by slightly lifting the chin into your body, right, the palms press, the head might be resting, but the palms press. And that's where your pressure is. The weight is not in the forehead. It's not all in the head. You want to focus the palms pressing down. Now you could feel some pain or some discomfort in the neck and shoulders. If it's tolerable, you can breathe through it. If not, just rest in a child pose. So try for 3 more breaths to work that opening. Eventually, over time, as your heart opens up, the chin and sternum will move down. And then you work your forearms, your upper arms up, if possible. We'll go ahead and release. We'll walk our elbows down and take it into a child pose. Reach and relax. It can be a passive child pose. 3 more breaths. Two more breaths. Now an active child pose, reach those arms. So now the arms are as straight as they'll go. You feel the stretch through the side rib cage. Inhale, deep breath, and roll those elbows wide so you can feel the shoulders moving away from the ears. Oh, there's the next stretch. 3 more breaths. If you're very uncomfortable, you can also sit on a block and have your hands on a block and just work extending. All right, go ahead and release that pose. Let's come back up. Inhaling cat. Now let's take this little wave through the spine. So it's a little vinyasa. So we tuck the tail like we do in cat, palm, weight moves into the palm. Our heart moves forward, chest drops, tail lifts to the sky. We exhale, we press it back. And tuck, inhale. And exhale as we're moving the breath and prana through the body. Inhale, tuck. And drop the heart. Last time. Very nice. We're just moving that chi. And as we inhale up and release into tabletop. So now let's work into core and balance. Hug your knees together. Give a good press through your palms. Lift your right heel up. Inhale a deep breath. Let's just circle those ankles first. Good. Now go ahead and reverse. And now separate the toes and scrunch the toes. Very nice. And extend the right leg. Look for your balanced hip. What does that mean? That means that you could balance. Stay there. I just have to click something on my computer. So you're reaching and extending through that right leg. Now let's wake up the left abductor by lifting your right hip up. Inhaling. Now you want to stay balanced through your hands and lower down the hip. Lift the right hip up. Stay balanced through the hands. Try not to lean more into one side. And down. Exhale there. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Great way to work on your balance and your hip mobility. Really great for anyone who's had a hip replacement or wants to keep hip replacements at bay. Last time. Inhale up. Exhale down. Good. Now rounding the thoracic. This will bring some heat into our core. And extend. So as we look forward, exhale, tuck the chin, bring the forehead towards the knee. Inhale, lengthen, look for that level hip. There you go. Exhale, round. Press through the palms. Try your best to keep your weight in your hands. As the body wants to do what's easy, so the mind has to focus in the challenge. So stay forward. Last two. Last one. Good. Extend the right leg. Let's challenge our balance even more. So I'm going to spider finger my left hand. Look for the balance in the body. Walk the spider hand forward. Now, if I feel like I can challenge myself a little bit farther, I'm going to take a block and put the hand on the block. To challenge myself farther, I'm going to take the block and put the hand on the block. To challenge myself farther, I'm going to lift the left arm up and hold. 3 deep breaths. 2 and 1. Left hand down. And now hide the right knee on the outside of the left calf. Now there's a long series that I used to do before the lockdown, but I really feel like it's great to regain, I'm going to sit my hips back, regain fundamentals when your program, is kind of been, disrupted. And that's great for re-establishing the muscle memory in the body. And inhale up. As we're trying to get that shakiness out of our body, that anxiety and the doubt in ourselves. So let's go ahead and start with our left foot. Lift our left heel up. Breathe and circle. We're just focused on right here, right now. Just being aware of ourselves and our breath. Reverse, which is allowing our nervous system to calm and center. We're going to scrunch the toes and spread the toes like you're trying to pick up a sock off the floor. Good. Be aware of your navel, pull it in, and extend the left leg. Now what do we look for? We look for that level hip, right? We don't want a hip too high. We just want to put that in the body and the mind, and we know what we're looking for. So here we go. As we activate our right abductor, we press evenly through the palms and lift our left hip up and go nice and slow. I feel as if when you're moving slowly through your body, you're an explorer, right? You're exploring, like what's going on this side? Let's see. Inhale up. Give me that reach through that heel, because what's really going to give you that long leg, but be gentle into the knee. You don't have to like straighten so abruptly that it feels uncomfortable in the knee. You just need a little extension. Right? We're bringing that balance and that center and that stability back in our bodies. And we did that. Okay. So now, extend the right arm, spider fingers, right? We're challenging our center. I'm going to take one block, spider finger on top. Look for that extension. My arm is as straight as I can make it. Right? I'm getting tired just holding this position. Holding your table. So let's work into our thoracic spine a little bit more and take our left hand to the center of our chest. So that means take your left hand 2 to 3 inches to the right. So now your left hand is in between your shoulder point, and inhale the right arm up and exhale down. Now here's a little tip. If you're feeling stiff, you're going to take the block, hand on the block, inhale up. You're going to get a deeper rotation through the spine this way. Inhale up and exhale down. Two more. One more. So here we hold the right arm up and reach. Moving the right shoulder down the back. Take the heel of the palm onto the sacrum. Inhale a deep breath. Roll that right shoulder back and press. Extend the right arm up. Inhale. Exhale, elbow down, other elbow down. And reach the right arm through. You're looking for that medial deltoid stretch. Now, if the head doesn't comfortably make it to the mat, go ahead and take your blocks close into. Try both of them. You have your elbows stacked, right? Then you scoot your right elbow underneath that left underarm. Find your ear to the block. And now start thinking, I would like my right shoulder to drop down. Now, if it starts to relax down and you feel like you're sinking down, you can go down farther. Go ahead and remove one block. And then start again. I'd like my right shoulder to drop down, creating space between the top of the shoulder and the ear. And then over time, once you feel that release, eventually you have both blocks down and you're resting your right ear on your left forearm. Keep enjoying those deep breaths. You can close your eyes if you like. Melt into the pose. Give me a nice full deep breath. And on your next inhale, slowly inhale up. Just rewind, take your time, and then come back up to tabletop. So that pose cuts off some blood flow into the lymphatic side, glands on the right side, and now we're just letting blood flow come back. We're going to sink and press, already feels a little bit looser, feels better. And cat-cow. Inhale. Exhale. I always notice my left shoulder, neck side, because I had some injuries there, and I like to carry bags on that side. And so I'd like for you to notice, is there one side of your shoulders that feels a little more stiff? And notice, in your regular activity, do you favor one side? Do you hold bags and heavy things on one side of the body? Okay, good. So now this time, hold your tabletop. The right hand moves to the center of the chest. That means the right hand moved 2 to 3 inches to the left. And now the left hand, inhale up. So that thoracic twist, you might feel some stiffness in the back here. Exhale, tap the outside of the right shoulder. Inhale up. Now if you're feeling very stiff and that rotation is challenging for you, go ahead and take a block. It really does help. Lift you up. It allows the ribcage to get higher, and then possibly you'll release a little bit faster that way. Inhale up. Exhale down. Really use your breath. Inhale, lift, but without shifting your hips. Exhale down. Exhale down. We have one more. Good, and we'll take the heel of the palm to the sacrum. If that's too hard, you can just do palm up and shoulder down, and then eventually we're working that shoulder. We can roll it back to get to this point. Hold and breathe. 3 more breaths. If you give me a good strong press with your right hand, and then heart up, twist, twist, twist. Wonderful. Lift the left arm up. Inhale. Exhale, elbow down. Other elbow down. Take a moment. You want to feel centered in the hips. Maybe bring both blocks over. If you know that you needed them on one side, it's quite possible that you need them on the other side. So we take our left hand, inhale a deep breath, and sew it like we're sewing through a needle, an eye of a needle. Reach, reach, reach until you feel a stretch on your outside of the left shoulder. Turn your head to the right, and you have your left ear side resting on the mat. Now we take a deep breath in, inhale, and allow the left shoulder to drop down. We want space between the top left shoulder and the bottom of the ear. If your neck will release a little bit, try to go down a little bit farther. Maybe take one block away. And again, reassess. Allow the left shoulder to drop down. Then eventually, if possible, you move that left ear to the forearm. Breathe. Keep breathing. We're holding it for like two more breaths. And on your next inhale, inhale up back to tabletop. Take your time, move slow, press. Inhale. We'll sink through the thoracic a couple times. Notice if it feels feels smooth, right? A little shakiness has gone away, at least for me. I hope for you too. So let's go into cat-cow. Exhale, round. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, forward. Last time, exhale, round. Inhale, forward. Toe stretch. Tuck the toes under. And then make your way back. So if that is like a lot of people have very tight toes, and that can be very painful. We don't want to go into a pain depth that you can't breathe through. So what you do is take your blocks underneath your hips. You can put as much towels or whatever you have underneath there to give the comfort that you need. Hands can stay down, where you can lean a little bit of your weight into your hands. And then if you feel like I can go back farther, how about tucking the tail, creating a thoracic stretch, a rounded spine. So hands on the thighs, putting the majority of the weight on your toes. And if you don't need a block, you can take one off. And then you can use the other block for the big toe point hugs the block. So that would be creating mula bandha, right? Because if inner thighs hug, if the inner balls of the feet hug in, it creates a lift, right? So we're not sinking, we're lifting up. 3 deep breaths, and this will help you work into a toe stand pose, which we're not going to do, but this is the beginning of it. And let's release that pose. Arms forward, inhale. Relax those toes out. I'm just going to take my block out from underneath me. And now let's move into, how exciting, a down dog. Took my time, but it's going to feel much better that we did all of those other poses before down dog. So here from tabletop and lifting my hips up. Press the chest back to the thighs. Oh, doesn't feel so bad. Down dog is a cooling pose, so you should feel the release in it. Although, we hold tension in our body, we can find certain things. So notice that my knees are bent, my heels are high. What I'm working on is the straight line from the crown to the tail. As I inhale a deep breath, I press my chest close to the thigh, and that's allowing what to happen? The inner chest to open. Now drop your left heel and hold. Do I have right knee bent? Left heel press. If I exhale and turn my torso to the left underarm, as if I want to relax my neck and look up towards the sky, what's happening? My right shoulder, my right inner shoulder, underarm area is opening. Give a good press through the right palm. Now change. Press right heel to the mat, left heel up. Wonderful stretch, moving into where? The Achilles, the calf, the gastrocnemius. Inhale, deep breath. Look to the right underarm. Allow the left shoulder to drop down and give a good press. Good, you're almost there. Now walk the dog. Walk the dog means lift one heel, press one heel. Walking the dog. Lift one heel, press one heel. Now we're going to walk the dog with a torso twist. Okay, that looks like this. Walk the dog and turn. So if my right heel is up, I look to the left. Walk the dog. If my left heel is up, I look to the right. So walk the dog and look. Walk the dog and look. One more time. Wonderful. Both heels down. Hold the down dog. Now it's okay if you still maintain a bent knee and a lifted heel. You're working on it. 3 deep breaths. It's better to be, this is not a great down dog, right? I would rather lift my heels, bend my knee, and then this is a better down dog.
One more breath. Now lift the heels and lower the heels. 3. You can do this. We're coming down in 2. And one more. Lift the heels. It's a spinal roll. Think about doing a plank. Tuck. Tuck the tail. Push through the balls of the feet and look through the thumbs and hold. Inhale. That's it. Give me a long neck. Shoulders back. 3 more breaths. 2. And 1. Slowly lower the knees down. Good work. Take your right foot forward. Help it out if it didn't get there on its own. So now you have heel and knee alignment. You can find your blocks. Bring them over. They can go underneath your hands. We're going to lean our weight into our hands, blocks, floor, lean forward, then back, push through the heel. Now give me a little toe lift and move it forward. So we're lubricating the hip flexor, we're lengthening out the right hamstring. And can you focus on when you lift your toes, lift the chest. There's the depth of that hamstring. Dig your heel, hips move forward. Now keep your weight into your right foot. This would be more of, good job, moving the heart forward, but we don't want to sink into the left hip. We want to keep our core involved. So that's the depth of it. Inhale, reach, lift the chest. Exhale, weight into the hands, weight into the right heel, move the chest through the shoulders. Look up. Press through the right foot, scoop and pull it in. Move it back farther if you feel comfortable, and then re-lift the chest. Dig your right heel, moving forward. Chest moves through the shoulders, chest moves up. So now let's work into our low lunge. Left knee to straight. Good. Inhale. So you want to find your inner right knee connected or close to your outer right shoulder or elbow. So this arm, this leg, press it together. So what does that do? That creates mula bandha, something that we talked about in the beginning of class. We hug, and then we move our left heel. So notice I'm moving forward. Left heel moves forward. There's our pose. We feel our core. We feel our weight in our hands. We feel our strength of our right leg. Inhale, lift up. Now, to move deeper into our spine, keep your left leg straight and lift up your right hand. Sweep your right arm up. Thoracic twist. Open up the right rib. Open up the right rib. Open, 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 open. And reach and extend. Keep that left leg firm and straight. Try your best not to let your right hip go out. If anything, pull your right sit bone into the left leg. And open the body. Slowly drop your left knee down. Inhale a deep breath. Reach it back to that back heel. Look towards it. Pull your right knee into your body. Big sweeping right arm. Here we go. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, down. Now hand to block and bend the elbows. You're trying to lower your pose. If possible, you can do elbows to your blocks. And then more advanced, L palm can wrap around through that right arm, or right leg rather. But for right now, let's just focus elbows to block. 3 deep breaths, or bending elbows. 2 more breaths. Again, don't sink into that left hip. Pull the left hip in and keep your pelvis centered. Move your heart forward. 1 more breath, you can do it. And release. Hands to block. Tuck the tail. Move it back into the hamstring stretch. Take the blocks. Use them as little stilts. And come up high. I'm going to take the right hand on the outside of the right leg and then take my foot and scoot it over about 1 inch. Just looking for heel, knee, and hip, a straight line from my hip. Inhaling a deep breath. Wait. I'm going to do a little windshield wiper leg. Saying hello. kind of working the lubrication in my joint. Inhale, deep breath, plank flex. Lift the height of the chest up. And slowly. Now, if you don't feel that you can go forward and it's intense enough right where you are, please stay there because that is fine. Otherwise, bend the elbow and move the heart forward. How about you start just a little range of motion and then inhale up. And again, exhale, slowly lower yourself down, torso. And inhale up. And again, slowly lower it down. Stability. Keep your abdominals pulled in. And inhale up. One more time. Exhale, bend. Slowly come down as far as you feel comfortable. And inhale up. Ooh, good job. Now I'm dragging my heel, pulling back. We're going to stay with the hamstring, but we're changing our position. One block goes in your long ways next to the inner heel. Other block to the inner heel. We're going to come and have a sit. Okay, so if this is too much, what you can do is add another level. I don't need this, but if anybody does need this, just more height. Just get a higher stool. Try it again. Now here's another option. If this left knee, for anyone watching, doesn't like this position, but you still want to stretch your right leg, you're going to take it in. Right? If you can see me, just taking it in like that. So now it's time for our strap. So go ahead and get that. Okay, so we're going to strap the ball of the foot. And we're looking for alignment of heel, knee, hip. And then our sit bone. Is our hip twisted on the block? It could be the right hip is too far forward. So let's take a moment and notice that. I'm going to pull my right hip back, lift up through the chest. There's a wonderful stretch right there. Just the line of the crown and the hips being straight and the leg. And it's okay to have a right leg bent a little bit if you're very tight in the hamstring. You have to do what you have to do. Deepening the pose. Pull the elbow, heart moves through. Feel the top of the hamstring and release. Inhale. Try it again. Exhale, pull it through. Inhale, release. It's like we're digging a pathway of flexibility, of mobility. We're going into it, backing off. Inhale. Exhale, going into it, pulling, pulling, pulling. Inhale, one more breath. Now, if you're a little more flexible and you feel like you can release one block, feel free. 2 more breaths, then we're going to hold our stretch with a forward fold. Crown leads to the toes. Take your time. Inhale up. Here we go. We're going to hold our pose. Now, it could be just holding right here. Hands can be on the floor. Hands can be on the leg. Whatever you feel like you can do to hold your pose. Rocking the shoulders a little bit, helping to loosen up the fascia might help you to lower. Two more breaths. Wherever you are, keep working. Now to come up, get a strong grip. You can use your hands to come up if you have a back concern. Otherwise, come up with a straight back. pull, lean into it. Even more advanced, you could lift the leg and release. So strap down, pull your right heel in. We're gonna move into tabletop again. Yep, tabletop. And sink down. So we're moving some prana, we're moving some blood flow, we're redirecting. Sink down and press. And cat-cow. And our other side. So we'll get our blocks, a little toe touch stretch. And a big step with our left foot forward. We always want to inhale when we move into a pose. So hands on the block. Now we're pressing. Start just by getting the foot to press. Right? You want to feel what's going on in your ligaments. One side may be different than the other side. So we always want to move slowly with awareness. Now, as our hips move back and forward, by creating this press into the ball of the big toe and the heel, creating a root, right? We're leading the tail back, slowly lengthening. Now, the hands are important as well because we want Mula Bandha, we want core activity. So as I move forward, like I would do a plank, my hands get heavy into the block and my abdominals get heavy, the hips move forward. We start releasing into the right hip flexor. And move it back. And hand weight, move it forward. Weight into your left heel, look up and back. Start exploring your range of motion. You can lift your toes up, press into the block, heart moves through the shoulders. Keep your left knee into the left shoulder. Lift the toes, move back. Inhale forward. Okay, so let's move into our low lunge. So we hold our alignment of heel and knee. Now we take our right knee and we straighten it. Inhale, big deep breath. Now we should feel our core once we did that, right? Because there's no sinking in our right hip. We lift up, we have a level pelvis. Our hands, our weight is moving forward into our hands. We're holding the strength of that right leg, core, you can do it. Push into your left heel. Because here we lift our left arm up. Inhale, rotate the left rib cage up towards the sky. Beautiful. Now stay firm with the right leg. Inhale a deep breath. The left rib cage rotates open, open, open. Lift and look. Keep that left knee. Pull it in. And slowly lower the right knee down. Inhale, big deep breath. Look back to the back heel. Notice and feel that the right hip flexor is opening. Big sweep left arm. Inhale, deep breath as we rotate. Weight into your left foot. Now, the beginner may need to put hands onto the block and then slowly bend the elbows to work depth. Eventually, you'll work your elbows, if you can now, elbows to your block. Deep breath in. To check your pose, once again, we are not sinking into the right hip. We want that right sit bone to feel lifted. And then we move our heart through the center. So the weight moves into our elbows. Pull the left knee into the body. 3 deep breaths. And we did it. Hand to block. Inhale, scoop the navel in. Okay, so now we're going to deepen our hamstrings. I'm going to slide the heel back for, to help me transition for balance. Take the block. 1, take the block 2, and if we need anything else, we're going to stack that on the blocks as well. I'm going to get myself down nice and easy. And then you know what to do. If this right knee doesn't like this position, you can just move the leg and tuck it right in. Okay? So now you have your straps.
We're gonna pull and lift. So after this, we do this, we're almost done, but I have a very strong hamstring pose that we haven't done yet in the online series. So there's a little test coming. We'll see how we do. I think we're gonna do pretty good. Inhale, lift up through the chest. Pull those elbows back. Didn't that feel good? Because what happened? This is not head, heart, and hip aligned, but this is, right? Just moving that sternum up. One will give your lung capacity more space to breathe. Now here we pull through the elbows and we allow the heart to move to the toes. That definitely deepens the stretch. And then we move out of it. So again, just like the other side, we're working or digging a pathway of motion without creating too much pain or discomfort. We want to keep, pain is relative to different people. Discomfort is relative to different people. But how you can figure it out for yourself is through your breath. If you cannot have a fluid breath, if something stops your breath, you should, but what is that? Where in the body caused your breath to stop? Notice that. And now stay away from that point. Now find a point that you can breathe, and then you slowly move deeper and deeper into it. But the ego has to be set aside. That's what happens when we come to our mat. Our ego has to be set aside because this is a time for us to be present in our body, to create healing. And the egos, a lot of times, will get us to the mat, but it can keep us from learning and growing. So soften the ego. Accept the body where it is right now. Breathe and hold. Exhale, drop the heart. Think about just softening down just a little. Inhale, big deep breath. Exhale, soften down, dropping the shoulders down. Inhale, big breath. Exhale, release and let go of the tension in the hamstring. You either use your hands to support the back as you rise the heart. You get to a point where you don't need your hands, rise up straight back. Pull, pull, pull. And we did it. Okay, so for our big pose, we're coming forward. Here we go. We're going to dig our heel, come forward. Now I need to move some of these things out of the way. Both legs step forward. Inhale, deep breath. We have a little alternating heel motion. Hands to the ankles or the upper below the knees. Inhale, deep breath. Exhale, forward fold. Chair pose. Lowering the hips, heart moves up. Feel the weight of the heels, ball of the feet. Maybe slightly lift the toes. Hug in through the inner core, Mala Bandha. Inhale, lift up. And exhale down. Back into hands to the hips. Bending, forward fold. And hold halfway. So push those hips back. So hands to hips, and you're really pushing your hips back. Lift your toes if you can, which is going to lift the arch. You have the 4 points of the foot moving into the earth. Lengthen the heart forward. Now bend the knees and rise slowly. Inhale up. Okay, so feet are together. Right foot is going to take a big step back. And it's a 45-degree angle. You kind of have to do a 45-degree angle that your foot turns out to the right corner of the mat. Okay? So now, if you don't feel like you did a big enough step, take your toes and kind of move it forward. Now, hands are on the hips. We're going to take our left hip and move it back. So now the front corners of the hips are lined up with the front edge of the mat. Inhale a big deep breath. The right heel, push into the right heel. Now you think Mula Bandha. That means inner thighs hug together. Hands to hips. We push those hips back. Push your weight into the right heel. Now move your heart forward. Hold. Just like we slowly moved into our last hamstring stretch, we're going to do that here. Inhale. If you need to, you can put your hands to your thighs. If you need to, you can take your blocks. If you're feeling very wobbly, and you can put them down on each side of your body, each side of the leg. More advanced will be hands to hips. Inhale, deep breath. Exhale, slowly moving down. Keep working the alignment of the hip. Left sit bone moves back, right sit bone moves in. Feel the outer right hip. Hug it into the left inner thigh. Inhale, a deep breath. Exhale. You can always reach down. The most advanced is to do palms together, but find what feels good to you. Now when we come up, we can reverse, hands to block. Hold, move hands to hip. Inhale up. Bend the left knee. Peel your right heel up and step forward. Inhale, big deep breath. Let's just do a sweeping arms up and down, other side. So hands to hips. I'm going to take my left foot and step back. It's about a leg's distance. You can check your left big toe is pointing towards the left corner of the mat. If your right leg didn't, your width isn't far enough, take your toes and scoot forward. Should be about a leg's distance. Good. Now inhale. See how this leg is nice and straight? Feel a stretch in the left hip flexor. Hands to the hips. Think Mula Bandha. That means hug your inner thighs and push weight into your back left heel. Left sit bone moves back. Heart moves forward. Mula Bandha, hug it together. You can use your hands to blocks on each side. You can hold right here. Holding will allow the stability and the strength to set forward. More advanced is hands to the hips. You're working your right hip back. Inhale, deep breath. Exhale, just like you did on the other side. Slowly move it down. Inhale, big breath. Exhale, slowly move it down. Inhale, big breath. Exhale, slowly move it down. Stay where you are. Reach it forward or hands to the blocks. 3 more breaths. 2 more breaths. And 1. Use the hands to support the rise of the chest or hands more advanced to hips. Inhale, rise up. Bend the right knee. Lift the left heel. Step forward. Inhale. And mountain pose, exhale. Chair pose to supine. So chair pose to the floor. Chair pose. Assisted hands to blocks. Lower yourself down. Very good. We're going to finish up. Go ahead and make yourself comfortable. Make your little bed for your sava. First, start with your knees bent, a little rock. Open up your shoulders. Goal post your arms. Big breath. Goal post down, fingertips down. Soles of the feet together, goddess pose. Now, if this pose can be it's painful for people, right? So what you can do to take the edge off is take your block sideways next to the hip. Really scoot it in. And then just let those knees fall out. And it's very nice. It supports you in a very nice way. So then now take your goalpost arms and extend them to straight T-top arms. Deep breath in. Now take your fingertips and align or intertwine them on top of the belly. So you have your pinky fingers connected and the tips of the thumbs connected. Goddess pose. Deep breaths in. Continue resting there. I have a little treat, a little Tibetan singing bowl. So from this pose, I will talk you into Sava. So just stay where you are for the